Welcome back to Two Movies, One Pod with your hosts, M and Kinka. I'm M.
And I'm Kinka. And on today's episode, we're discussing Gerard Johnstone's 2023 sci-fi horror film, M3GAN, or as I like to call it, M3GAN, and no one can take that away from me, starring Allison Williams, Violet McGraw, Amy Donald, and Ronnie Chang.
And James Wan's 2021 horror film, Malignant, starring Annabelle Wallis, Maddie Hassan, and George Young. Both films are written by Kayla Cooper.
Okay, so we've got a pair of movies here, don't we?
Yes, we do.
There's something. We have different opinions, I believe.
Yes, very different opinions on at least one of them. I know that.
Yeah, seemingly it seems like both of them, but I don't know. I think
into it.
Honestly, no, I think we should get into it right now. I think we should start.
Okay.
There's a certain question we should start with right now.
Okay.
And that is a question here stated very bluntly, very directly. Why does Emily dislike fun?
What a great one to start out with. So I think everybody has different interpretations of fun. And okay. I don't like fun in my horror movies. Except I just thought about this. Cabin in the Woods, it's okay. That's a masterpiece in my opinion. I love that movie. So I feel like that's okay to be
okay
funny.
Just because you like it?
Yeah. Yeah, because I like it. Yeah, exactly. No, but if I want funny in my horror movies, I'm thinking scary movie, intentionally funny. There's no question about it that it's a joke. There's no question about it, So these two movies, I guess I just tried to take Malignant too seriously because of who directed it, James Wan, and it was supposed to be kind of, funny and campy like we've found out and read, but with M3GAN,
M3GAN.
I have nothing to say.
Why? Yeah. Why not? There's so much. Maybe not so much, but it's M3GAN. Come on.
I know. I knew it was gonna be funny because obviously the trailer, she was dancing that has scarred me. That has scarred me. The dance has scarred me.
It's so good.
It's so cringe. It's so cringe. It's not for everyone.
Apparently. Well, that's just the thing. To me, M3GAN is almost just not even a horror movie.
No, not at all.
It doesn't really do anything horror-y, really.
No.
And if it is trying to do stuff horror-y, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, and that's why I was kind of pissed, because it's they're sitting here trying to make a scary movie and advertise it as that. But, I know, I would say a lot of people were yeah, this is going to be a scary movie. Yeah, it'll probably be a little funny, but people were expecting horror, and that's not what that was. It was literally the least scary movie I've ever seen. And I've said this the other night when we watched it. I like doll movies a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I love doll movies. I think they're so good and scary. And I'm just I was just disappointed. This movie could have been so scary. And it was just cheesy and just it was just, I don't know. It ruined it. She's creepy, but just even the dialogue. I'm sure we're both thinking that, the same similar type thing that they said. It's just not good. In my opinion.
It's not really, I don't think it's really supposed to be good. I hope not, at least. Sorry, Akila, but M3GAN is just some fun. It's just a fun little stupid movie. It's not really supposed to be anything crazy, but then again, it is kind of. We can get into another question.
Mm-hmm.
Do either of these movies, Malignant and M3GAN, wow. Do either of them have a message, or are they just nonsense fun movies?
Well, that's funny you ask that, because I thought that M3GAN did have a message, even though it was what it was, which was surprising. So that was probably, one of the best parts of the movie, is that the message it did have is that, we talked about this, that you can't just distract yourself from grief and pain. You have to go through it and deal with it. So, and I think that's what the aunt tried to do, was give her M3GAN to feel better, but then she like became addicted to it and like got pissed when she wanted to take it in and like fix it. She like went apeshit. Katie, the little girl. So I don't think I think it was just sending the message of like, don't give your kids iPads.
Yeah. You don't want to raise an iPad kid.
No, and there's many people that we know, I personally know, we both know, that have kids on the iPads, so it's like we can't say anything because we don't have kids. We really don't know how it is. But this was just like an extreme version of that. Like, look how bad your kid could get, like, addicted to technology. Yeah. Like, the aunt was trying to talk to her, and Katie was like not having it, like totally just, it was just wild. So yeah, you can't ignore your grief, you can't ignore your pain, you can't distract yourself from it, whether that be with whatever it is, because it's always going to come back and you're going to have to deal with it. So I think that was the message of M3GAN. What do you think?
Yeah, well, I think that is definitely a message in M3GAN. Technology, you don't want to become addicted to it, and you have to feel you can't suppress your feelings, or they're just going to get worse and unchecked and all that very fun stuff. But beyond just warning of kids getting addicted to technology and emotions and all that, it also is somewhat of a cautionary tale with AI. Like, you don't, and that's rather relevant now. There's all kinds of AI things ongoing. Like, just earlier today I saw on Twitter, someone made a video where they recreated like Kendrick Lamar's voice with AI, and they would sing, and then like they created a Kendrick Lamar song.
That's scary. Just like didn't we see something like that with Eminem, or what was it? Or no, I saw it online. One of like those famous DJs did like an Eminem song, and he pretty much ripped him off, and he sounded just like him. Yeah,
so we're rapidly approaching this scary new era where AI is becoming a bit too much.
Yeah.
And M3GAN, the interesting thing is, watching this movie, I kind of thought, okay, this is a movie that understands like exactly what's going on right now in regards of AI and is trying to say something about it. But when I watched an interview with the screenwriter Akela Cooper, Akela or Akela, I can't remember which one it is already, but sorry. She said that she wrote this screenplay like 5 or 6 years ago. She wrote it a long time. She actually wrote this way before Malignant. She wrote M3GAN.
Really?
Which is interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting.
And it was her original idea, M3GAN. Malignant was an idea that James Wan and some other producers had, that they approached Akela to discuss turning it into a screenplay. So I found that interesting.
So they gave it to her and she wrote
Yeah, they gave her the idea,
story.
And then she said, yeah, she wants to write it.
Okay.
And only after her and James Wan worked together on Malignant did she showed him the M3GAN script, and he produced it after knowing of that script. But yeah, I find that interesting that this was written quite a while ago, like 5 or 6 years ago. AI was
barely a thing like it is now.
Yeah, just like in the past 6 months, AI has just exploded. And
with the AI art,
yeah,
all of that, it's crazy.
Yeah, and there's some unsettling implications for the future.
I agree. Everyone's jobs are getting taken. You can't even find a freaking checkout person at the damn grocery store anymore.
Yeah, and AI making fake news, so to speak, fabricating world leaders and celebrities, and pretending to be them, saying stuff, doing stuff. It's not
so
pleasant. And then children's toys, right? This could happen. There could be a real M3GAN.
Right. I do appreciate that part of M3GAN, though, that like the AI aspect. I do like that. I think it's cool. I think it's relevant, and yeah, I do appreciate that part of the movie.
Yeah, it went deeper than I had expected it to.
But it also was fun at the same time.
Yeah, it was a fun movie. A fun little movie where the robot girl dances. Who doesn't like a robot girl that dances?
And if you think about it like that, then it's like, that's cool, you know?
Yeah,
but if you were going into it expecting horror, sorry, you're going to be disappointed like I was.
Well, okay, no one get mad at me here for a second, but I've never seen any of the Chucky movies, any of the Child's Play movies, but surely Chucky does some goofy shit like that in some of the movies. Surely he does a dance.
But it's like the first of its kind, so it's like, and it's fucking scary. It's scary. Like Chucky doesn't dance. I mean, now don't get me wrong, the newer movies and like the show and stuff, that doesn't really count to me. I'm talking about like the first one, second one, third one. But then when you get to like Bride of Chucky, when you get to like Seed of Chucky, just throw them out the window. They're not scary anymore. But like the first one, like that, and that's what I like. I told you the movie Dead Silence with the doll. So good. Also by James Wan. Saw, that puppet, you know,
also James
the doll.
Wan.
Also James Wan, exactly.
That's the thing.
So
I think we should. Okay, you go.
No. You say what?
Well, I think we should talk about James Wan a little bit. But here, you finish saying what you're saying, and we'll.
No, I was just saying. Just ranting about the dolls. I just love dolls. I think they're freaking scary, and I was just really wanting this movie to be scary and just like. Because I'll take a doll movie any day. But then when it wasn't that, I guess I was just disappointed because I am a horror movie lover. So that's the only reason why. Fair enough.
We are different. You're a horror movie lover, and I guess I like horror, the idea of horror. But I don't know. I've not seen very many horror movies, and I kind of have the perception of horror movies that a lot of them are not very good. They're they're not like movies. They're just something that's made to attempt to scare people. If that makes sense. I feel a lot of horror movies.
But you also haven't seen.
That is true. I haven't seen that many. But
you haven't seen a lot.
Like I don't know. Just think of some there's so many horror
movies. Yeah, what have you seen, and what are you thinking about that? You're like, yeah, is it like, what do you mean? Give an example.
Like the Bye Bye Man, something like that.
Right, and see, modern horror. That's what I'm saying. Movies. Modern horror sucks, in my opinion. It's not good like it used to be. So it sucks that you have that opinion because of that. We have to watch some old movies. We have to watch all the Scream movies. You need to watch the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Then you would appreciate it. That's when it was different. Or Pearl, X, Maxine. Those are modern. They feel old. Yeah. Anyways, this isn't a review about them, but I'm really excited for us to talk about that one day.
But yeah, so horror. Well, the thing is, it's kind of easy to scare people. So horror is almost like a cheap genre. It can be used kind of as a cheap genre. Like, not anyone can do horror, but you know what I mean. Like, it's easy to make a horror movie. May not be good, but
I don't think so. Yeah, right. It may not be good. So yeah, anybody can make a movie, but is it good?
Yeah, but that's the thing. I feel that the bar of quality for horror is a bit lower than other genres. So I don't even remember what the point I was trying to make is, but
well, you wanted to talk about James Wan, so what were you going to say about him?
Yeah, James Wan. He's had a rather interesting career, right? He started with Lee Whannell making Saw, and then he went on and it's The Conjuring that he made, right?
Yes, and Insidious.
Both, I have not seen any of those.
The Conjuring's movies are amazing to me. The Insidious movies are not so much. They're not that great, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, so he did Insidious, Conjuring, and then he went and did a Fast and Furious movie.
I have no idea if it was good. Did it get good reviews?
I've never seen any of the Fast and Furious movies.
Me either. I'm like back in the day, like, the first one or something. But
I've not seen any of them. But yeah, so he did. Right. I believe it's. I think it's the one where the last one that Paul Walker was in. I think that's the one that he did. So it's like people like it emotionally or whatever.
I wonder if it was good.
as good as a Fast and Furious movie can get, I imagine.
Yeah. When I think Fast and Furious, my mind just goes straight to the ride at Universal. So I'm
my God, that
automatically
ride is so bad.
nope.
It's so bad.
I literally can't.
I am upset on the East Coast's behalf that they turned that into its own ride.
When I went there, I was like, no.
Yeah, it's just an unfortunate part of the studio tour. So it's like a helicopter. It's very loud.
I don't hear it.
Well, hopefully you don't ever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just an unfortunate part of the tour. I can kind of ignore it a little bit here, but turning it into its own ride. This is a Universal podcast now. Turning it into its own ride.
I know.
Why?
I know. It's fucking dog shit. It's terrible.
It's so bad. The Rock jumps on a helicopter and he's bigger than the helicopter.
And then they have that party scene where people are just dancing. There's like 10 people dancing. It's like, ma'am, that's not a party. There's just a bunch of people. It's just cringe. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird.
Yeah, it's bad. It's very bad. And I was very lucky the last time that I went to Universal, that part wasn't. It was broken or something, so we skipped it.
Good.
Yeah, I was so happy, especially because I had the high of right before that part on the tour. Now is the Jupe's Claim set from Nope.
Nice.
So I went through that. I'm like, okay, that was cool. That's to a degree that's what I came here for because I love Nope and I wanted to see that set. And it's like, okay, oh my God, now we have to do Fast and Furious. Fucking kill me. And then it's like,
they get you up and then you're down. Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's funny.
So the tour ended with Jupe's Claim. So glad with that. But anyways.
Yeah.
James Wan,
Nope.
James Wan did Fast and Furious, and then he probably did like a Conjuring movie or two in between. What, an Annabelle or The Nun?
Oh, I forgot about the Annabelle movies. Yeah, those are great too. I like those.
Yeah, which by the way, I believe that Akela Cooper also wrote The Nun. I believe that I saw that in her writing credits. I don't know. She could have been like one of the writers, like you know how that's the thing with these studio movies that aren't very good. There's like 6 writers on them.
Yeah.
So it could have been something like that.
The movie was not good. It could have been just like with other things, could have been so good and so scary, and it wasn't. It just was not good. The best part of that movie was I think her name's Thaisa or I don't know, Farmiga. Do you know Bates Motel?
Oh yeah, Vera Farmiga.
Vera Farmiga's little sister. She is in The Nun, and she's the best part of the movie.
That's cool.
So, yeah.
James Wan, Fast and Furious, maybe a Conjuring movie or two. I'm sure he produces them all. I'm almost positive. But then, then he did Aquaman. Aquaman made far too much money.
Right.
I cannot stand that. That movie is abhorrent to me.
I haven't seen it, and I don't care to.
It's
the one with Jason Momoa.
Ugly movie, yeah.
Okay.
Like, I look at it and I feel like, I need to put glasses on. Like I feel like.
It's one of those movies.
I feel like I'm not seeing right when I see this movie.
Ew, I hate shit like that. Oh, I fucking hate movies like that.
A lot of it takes place underwater, and it's just like this terrible underwater filter, and everything's CG, and like they like add CG on top of everybody to make it look like they're underwater.
Sucks. See, and that's so not James Wan. It's like, what the fuck? What happened? What happened? What went wrong?
I don't know, but apparently people really like Aquaman. I don't know. I don't like it. I think it's horrible, and when I look at it, I need to like get glasses. I feel like my vision gets worse by watching the movie, but. Apparently it's good. I personally can't look past that, but people like it. It made over $1 billion, which is a lot of money, in case anyone doesn't know. So after that, after having such a success, Warner Brothers did Aquaman, and so they're like, okay, you made $1 billion. You've been having a successful career for quite a while. Saw, Conjuring, Fast and Furious, all that. You've earned to just like make whatever the hell you want now. Go and make what you want. And this man decided to make Malignant.
Interesting. But I'm glad it exists. I really do like that movie. I love that movie.
Let's get into Malignant. It is. Yeah. It's batshit. It's insane. It's like.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
And it's. I don't want to throw around the word genius, but it's almost like genius, this movie.
How so?
Because it's just, well, first of all, it's like masterfully crafted. Some of the sequences, some of the shots in this movie are like insane.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how did they, well, maybe not how they do this, but how did they think of this? And how
right.
I guess how did they do this? Because this was like insane.
Mm-hmm.
And the movie almost feels like a prank, but like not the kind of prank where you're angry at the person afterwards. The kind of prank where like, I see, haha.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it starts off as like this kind of like haunted house. Maybe like she has a curse, and it's all like kind of like methodic and slow. Like I assume similar to other James Wan horror outings.
Similar to The Conjuring, yeah.
Yeah, it tries
or Insidious, whatever.
Yeah, it tries to strike a familiar tone with people that may be familiar with his previous horror movies.
Yeah. I am the biggest target. I was like, oh, this is going to be so fucking good and scary.
Yeah, so it strikes a familiar tone early on.
Yes.
And slowly but surely strips itself of that tone and just becomes something entirely different.
Yes.
And,
I agree.
Like, the sequences, the way that this movie does a sequence where a character is at two places at one time, like, some movies have done stuff like that before. Like, for some reason, what comes to mind instantly to me is The Last Jedi, the Star Wars movie, if you recall that, where, like, Rey and Kylo Ren are, like, seeing each other through the Force.
Oh, yeah. I love that. I love it so much.
Yeah, and they're, like, in both places at the same time. But
and they're, like, kind of talking to each other.
Yeah, and as far as they go with that, it's just sometimes one of them is in a different background than where they actually are.
Right.
Like, it doesn't go, like, that's as far as it could go. That's, like, the... how do you say? That's, like, the closest example of a movie trying to do something that Malignant did. And then, so you have that where sometimes they're in a different background, and sometimes they reach their hand out and there's rain there, but they're in a building. But then in Malignant, it's like the entire world, like, becomes milk and, like, washes away. And then sometimes portions of the room she's in, she sees Gabriel over there, and she sees the guy sleeping and the person's yelling over here, but she's still in her house. But then it washes away and transforms brick by brick into this other room, and it's just insane.
It's so good. And like you said when we were watching it, you're like, oh, it's CGI, but it looks cool. Like, it's okay that it's CGI. It looks good.
Yeah, it's CGI.
I loved it too.
It had to be CGI. How else could you do that?
Yeah, obviously. Yeah.
It's
not like it really happened.
Yeah, it's one of those things where practical effects, you couldn't really achieve that through practical effects. I really don't
think you could, yeah.
Yeah, even after making $1 billion on Aquaman, he still couldn't achieve that through practical effects. But it's just...
Yeah, and I like the idea of it. Like sometimes CGI is used very well, and that was that time. And it just felt... Like, I feel like both of our eyes were like, whoa! Like, we were just like, I didn't even see you, but, like, I could just feel that we both were like, oh, that's so cool. Like, I definitely think that added some spice to the movie.
Yeah, it just adds, it has such an interesting flavor to it, so to speak, in this movie. With just the way that the sequences where she's in two places at once and where she's seeing things that aren't there happens. It's very stylized in a way that kind of puts you in her shoes. Not fully, but like it makes it very interesting to watch. Like, there's a lot of movies that just have something happening.
Like a dream sequence. It could have been that, but it's like seeing her in that, like in that specific place, seeing what's going on, makes it, like, so much more scary and, like, not real, but, like, you can connect with her because she's so scared, so you're, like, scared for her.
Yeah, it's like a waking nightmare, almost.
Yes.
It's like sleep paralysis, but you're not paralyzed, but you still can't do anything.
Right, exactly, and that's terrifying as fuck.
She's seeing it, and she can't do anything. Yeah,
exactly.
It's rather effective in many ways. But the way that stuff happens, it's so good. Like, compared to other movies, like I would say even in M3GAN, M3GAN, in lots of movies, M3GAN included, stuff just kind of happens, right? Like like the part where M3GAN kills the dog. Spoiler alert. It just kind of happens. It's not very interestingly shot. It's not very compellingly told.
Right.
She just kind of goes there and does the thing, and then in the next scene, the neighbor's like, "Where's my dog?" You know, it's just not very compellingly told. I mean, sure, it gets the job done, but it's just not that interesting visually. But then, you know, I contrast that with Malignant, where the visuals are one of the better, maybe one of the best parts of the movie. The way it's shot, how things happen, you know,
and it has like. No, go ahead. Sorry.
There's this constant battle, I suppose, in a movie of how it happens or what happens versus how it happens. Like, for example, I would say a lot of the Marvel movies, what happens is more important than how it happens. Like, there's only one or two Marvel movies that I ever rewatch, because most of them, what happens is more important than how it happens. Like, you know, a rewatchable movie is how something happens is what is more interesting than what happens. Anything can happen in a movie. It just comes down to how it happens.
Right.
And how it happens in Malignant is fucking
so good.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's you can tell there was a lot of like time put into even just like that whole, well, first of all, the like awake nightmare type thing. Every single one is so good. And the chase scene with Detective Gakoa Shaw and Gabriel / Emily. That whole thing was amazing. You know, like it drew you in, and I was like hooked. I was like interested as shit. But I didn't feel that way at all with anything in M3GAN. Even the dog getting killed is so overdone in every single movie. And like, I get it. It's supposed to be funny, but it's just like, okay.
Yeah.
Anything else? You know?
Yeah, I do think M3GAN suffered greatly from being PG-13. Even though we watch, just so everyone we're a bit clear here, we watched the alleged unrated cut, and
there was nothing.
It was like a tame
movie
R.
A kid could watch. It was not that bad. There was like no blood hardly. The worst part was the kid getting his ear ripped off.
Well, I mean, there was a decent amount of blood when she killed the CEO in the elevator.
Oh yeah, sorry. See, already forgot. That part that was actually pretty good.
Yeah, but that
was interesting.
I can only imagine that all that blood was only in the unrated cut.
Yeah, but it wasn't even that bad.
No, it's just. You see, I like M3GAN, but I don't. It's not that good.
Yeah.
I like it. I like the concept.
I will not watch it again.
The funny dance. I might watch it again. The theatrical cut to see kind of the differences between the two, because apparently I learned this like yesterday that in the theatrical cut, M3GAN does not even say fuck.
Does she? She does say it once.
She says, I think, a few times in the unrated cut we watched.
Is that why it's a different rating? Is because she says fuck more than once?
Well, there's more blood, more language in the unrated.
Yeah, but still, there wasn't even that much. Besides the elevator scene, it really wasn't that bad.
Yeah, but okay.
I guess I'm like someone we know, and I've just seen too many scary movies, and I'm very desensitized. Like, blood and guts don't scare me.
Yeah.
So, you know, we watched Terrifier 2, and I was just like, sweet. Like, this is
crazy.
Laughing
at it.
Yeah, exactly. So PG-13 movies just don't do it for me.
Yeah, but that's just the thing. Any movie, regardless of the rating, can be scary. Having blood, having guts, having language doesn't inherently make something more mature or scarier.
I feel like that's why it was... Wasn't it? No, I know it doesn't make it more mature, but like, I guess it can't be. I guess what I'm trying to say is I feel like they took the classic route of being like, oh, well, we gotta have it appeal to the masses, so let's cut everything down and make it PG-13 so the teenagers can see it, the kids can see it, everyone can see it. And I don't like that. There's been many movies that have done that, and I'm just like, way to cop out. Like, stick to your guns and make it rated R, you know?
Yeah, I mean, they shot it for R, and then in editing did PG-13, but though we can be frustrated with that decision all we want, but it being PG-13 made it a lot of money.
Yeah, I know.
It made so much more. It was cost like 12 or 15 million dollars to make, and I think it made like over 200 million. It
Good for
made
them.
so much money, and if it was rated R, it would have made less money.
Exactly.
So, be mad
But
all you want.
I'm not a movie producer. I'm not a company, so I don't have, like, I don't give a shit. But I guess if I worked there at Warner Brothers or Universal or wherever, I'd be like, yeah, let's make some money. So
Yeah,
I get
well,
it.
Be happy now, because now they have more money to make more
M3GAN
horror
2.0!
movies, or Megan M3GAN 2.0, or just other horror movies in general.
Uh-huh.
Blumhouse. Apparently, you don't
Is
like
this
Blumhouse
Universal?
that much? Yeah, it's Universal Blumhouse.
No, well, see, I said that the other night, and I actually do like The Black Phone. I love that movie so much. I like Sinister. That's also Blumhouse. And like Happy Death Day was okay. That was also Blumhouse. So like, I like the movies. They're fun to watch, and like they're a good time, but they're not my favorite.
Yeah.
They kind of feel like mass produced. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I feel like sometimes they don't put a lot of time into them. Besides The Black Phone, that's the one I'll be like, I'll die on that hill for that movie. I really did love that movie. It was very good. Yeah. But they're just like popping out horror movies, It's not, it feels less special. But I do like Blumhouse. They're okay.
Yeah, Blumhouse is a studio that has the philosophy of releasing rather cheaply made horror movies, purely for profit. Like, if you make a movie that costs like $5 million, pretty much no matter what, you're gonna make a profit.
Yeah.
Because a movie has to be truly, truly bad and to not make at least $5 million, especially a horror movie. Because Blumhouse this is kind of what I was talking about earlier. Blumhouse, they make something that could be low effort. It is low budget, potentially low effort, and because it's horror, because it might have someone in it, it's horror and maybe there's this person in it, people see it. And it makes money just because it is a horror movie. That's what I was trying to say earlier.
Okay. I get you.
Horror makes money because it's horror, not necessarily because it's good.
Yeah, I agree. People like to be scared.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah, and Blumhouse has made good movies, obviously.
Yeah.
Get Out.
Fuck, I
Whiplash.
forgot about that.
Like, do you know that movie Whiplash
with
J.K. Simmons?
Mm-mm.
It's a good movie. It's about drumming. It's more of a thriller than a horror.
That's why I haven't seen it.
But yeah, J.K. Simmons is great in that. But yeah, it's they do some stuff that's outside of just straight up horror sometimes. Like Get Out was obviously a bit different than your typical horror, but
yeah, I fucking love that movie. That was scary to me. Like I thought it was like a thriller. It wasn't so much horror. It was definitely a thriller.
Yeah, and Get Out is worth mentioning. Did they also do? Oh, you go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, did they also do Us?
I'm not certain. Get Out is kind of interesting within the context of M3GAN and Malignant because of the writer Akela Cooper. Akela Cooper, being a black writer in Hollywood, after the success of Get Out, she had studios asking her, pressuring her, whatever, to make more movies that are like Get Out, more black horror, specifically black trauma horror movies, right? Because Get Out is really a black trauma movie, kind of. And black trauma movies are overdone. I think Get Out was definitely a different type of black trauma movie, but what Hollywood took from Get Out was not, oh, we need more black horror movies. It was, oh, we need more black trauma horror movies. So, they were trying to get Akela Cooper to make black trauma horror movies, and she was not interested, and she did not. She refused. I respect that she doesn't make what she doesn't want to make, regardless of if she could get a lot of money from it.
And that's cool.
Yeah.
Because if she did M3GAN and she was whatever, didn't we read an interview about that? Like, she was like, this is for me. So in a way, I appreciate that. I'm like, girl, do whatever the hell you want. You know what I mean? Like, if it does well, it does well. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Like, I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, and she would have, from the interviews that I've read and listened from her, it seems like, of course she wants black horror. She's not against black horror.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that she doesn't want like the Get Out type of,
Yeah,
just
black
the
trauma.
unpleasant black trauma.
Yeah,
like she just wants
not...
a black horror movie that it's just like a normal horror movie, but the people are black. Like Nope,
yeah,
I would say.
Why can't it be something like that? Exactly.
Yeah, like Jordan Peele also, despite Jordan Peele having written and directed Get Out, he has a similar philosophy where he only wants black leads in his movies because that's just the type of stories that he wants to tell.
Right.
And sure, might be elements of black trauma in there with Get Out, but I don't know. I don't really know what Us was trying to say, but I don't believe it had anything to do with black trauma.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I mean, maybe if we rewatched it, maybe, but
yeah,
I feel like that was just, I don't know if that really maybe it had a deeper meaning, and this isn't about Us, but...
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck Us was trying to do. Sorry, Mr. Jordan Peele, but I don't know what that was about. But
yeah, it wasn't my favorite, for sure.
Nope is maybe like 5% about black trauma, kind of about how black people are treated in Hollywood, but also just kind of how people in general are treated in Hollywood, just not very well. But anyways, that's all an aside to say that Akilah Cooper writes what she wants. She doesn't write whatever's in, right? Like, she wrote M3GAN 5-6 years ago.
She's like ahead of our time. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, so I hope that, this movie made a lot of money, M3GAN. And so I don't know if Malignant made a lot of money. Probably not, but...
Did it go in theaters?
Yeah, it was theaters and HBO Max at the same time, so it probably didn't make that much money, but...
Well,
it's successful. Love it. The people that like it, they like it. I like it. You like it. Apparently, I thought you didn't like it, but you like it now.
No, I do like it. Like it. Now that I've taken a couple days to sit back, and now that I've seen M3GAN, I'm like, I really appreciate Malignant.
Yeah. So Akilah Cooper is a rather successful horror screenwriter. So I hope that she's going to be given more opportunities to truly make what she wants, to make black horror movies that aren't trauma based.
Yeah, me too. I hope the same.
Yeah, it's a bright future. Unless AI takes all of the screenwriters' jobs.
Right. Jesus Christ. So anyways, I was wondering if either movie had like an oh shit moment, and if so, what was it for you?
Well, for a moment I want to quickly discuss for me at least, the origin of an oh shit moment isn't that unique of a thing, but for me, I kind of I didn't create it, but for me, I started calling stuff oh shit moments in movies after I watched David Lynch's movie Blue Velvet. I'm pretty sure, Blue Velvet. Have you seen that movie, Blue Velvet?
With
Laura Dern and Kyle MacLachlan?
No.
Okay, well, it's a good movie, and...
Is that not the one with Jake Gyllenhaal?
No, I don't think Jake Gyllenhaal's been in any David Lynch movies.
Oh, there's another Velvet movie. Anyways.
Yeah.
You can cut that out.
I'm keeping it in. So what happened? There's like a part in this movie where he's like, he broke into someone's apartment to like find evidence against them, and he was under the impression that they were going to be out for a while. And he had Laura Dern's character like keeping watch just in case they came back, and she would like honk a horn or something, and he would know that they're coming back.
Right.
And while he was like snooping around, I think he like flushed the toilet for some reason, and the person was coming back, and Laura Dern honked the horn like the same time as he flushed the toilet, so he couldn't hear the horn honk.
Oh.
And when that happened, I was like, oh shit. And so from that point on, Thank you, David Lynch. You have given me oh shit moments in movies, because that was like the first real moment where I consciously like said oh shit in a movie. Mm-hmm. And ever since then, I've thought about in movies what is an oh shit moment. So that aside, M3GAN, not really an oh shit moment. I would say it's all kind of by the books, but still enjoyable to me at least. But I mean, come on, Malignant.
So good.
There's probably like 7 oh shit moments in that movie.
Right. Yeah.
Sorry, I heard some strange noises in my closet. But no, the undeniable standout oh shit moment in Malignant is when they're watching the old recording from the, I don't know what, the children's hospital or whatever the hell that Gotham City ass looking building is, and they're making the decision to cut to give her the surgery, and then the camera person turns to the back of her head, and it's the fucking Gabriel ass looking dude.
Yes, with the arms and legs.
Yeah, and that's when you learn that there's just a whole ass motherfucker in her head behind her.
On her back, yeah.
Yeah, and it's just such an oh shit moment, and that's just when the movie has just fully gone insane, and then there's just the whole sequence with just the random assortment of women in that jail cell. It's like they literally like
oh my god, that was so fucking bad.
Well, it's so good. It's like they got a time machine and just hit shuffle, and then just all these random people just went in that cell.
I guess that's what that's exactly what happened. That's like, and see, that's the more campy side of the movie where, like, that was the most ridiculous part of the movie, was the jail cell scene. It's so good.
You see, the thing between us, I think... Are you sorry? You finish what you're saying before I interrupt you.
No, you go ahead. I'm done.
Okay. The thing with Malignant is that we both like the movie quite a bit, but I think for the opposite reasons.
Yes, I was going to say for different reasons.
Yeah, you like the more horror-oriented aspect of, like, the first half, and I like the absolute batshit second half.
Exactly. But I can appreciate the last half because the first half is there.
Yeah, that's
do you get what I mean? I like
something
that.
Something for everyone.
Exactly. I appreciate the second half because the first half happened, and I was not, like, super disappointed when the movie took a turn and became kind of funny, you know, like. But honestly, like I said, I'm gonna out myself here. I thought it was pretty scary the first time I saw it. Like, obviously when I was watching it with you, we were laughing, and it's different. Like, because I was in a different headspace, obviously, with you. I was noticing the funny things.
Yeah, and I was laughing my ass off every time something funny happened.
When he jumps out when he acrobatic contortionist down the stair,
fire
stair, yeah, this escape, and just they jump off, and then the cop just like rolls. It's just so funny. But when I saw it, I was like, oh fuck, it's different when you're watching it with friends and by yourself. So either way, I definitely appreciated it, but I did love the first half because this is what I wanted to say. The first half felt so like a James Wan movie. It, like I told you when we were watching it, it's the pacing, the slow zooms, and like it zooms in, and there's like something in the background, like you're just looking for something that's gonna pop out. And I just I love that about James Wan. It's so creepy and eerie. So when I found out that it was kind of funny and like ridiculous, it was I definitely wasn't disappointed. I was like, okay, I get it. That's fine. But maybe I'm just saying all this because I was so disappointed in M3GAN. Maybe I would feel different if I hadn't seen M3GAN. I'd have been like, yeah, I don't know.
I think you expected too much with M3GAN.
I did, because it's a fucking doll, and I wanted her to be scary.
She
wasn't scary.
No, but like you said it, and I think someone else when we were watching it said like it's like she looks like, what's the word? Uncanny Valley. She looks creepy, but not even to me. She just looks funny. Just look at the way she looks. She does
look funny. Yeah. She's creepy because she's a doll. I will say the creepiest part she did look creepy in was when she was just like laying there static when Katie was sleeping with her fucking eyes open, just sitting on the window seat. That was creepy. Yes, that was creepy for sure.
Yeah.
But everything else, like even like the fight scene at the end, just all of it, I was just like, okay. Yeah. And what I was also going to say before I end my rant, everything out of that movie felt like, let me take this from this movie, let me take that from that movie, I'm going to put it in here, copy paste, with the dog getting killed, another kid dying, and then maybe people think it could have been Katie, or was it M3GAN? Like, it's just a run-of-the-mill type thing. I did like that the aunt had that other AI bot Bruce was his name.
Rock'em
See, I
sock'em
actually,
robot.
yes, I thought that was kind of cool that they incorporated that. That was pretty cool, but everything else sucks.
Yeah, and I knew. I called it the second I saw that motherfucker go. I'm like,
yeah.
All right, well,
there
that's
was a
happening
reason
later.
for it.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. And see, I don't really like movies like that where you're like, oh, they're gonna use that later. You know what I mean? Like, I don't.
Yeah. I mean, I thought that was pretty cool. It made sense in the story for her to show the girl that.
I'm just a hater.
Apparently, you're an M3GAN. You're a hater.
Yeah.
An H3-ter.
Sure.
I tried.
Yeah.
What was I about to say? What the fuck was it? Oh yeah, do you remember the part in M3GAN when that cop is talking to the aunt about the kid that died, and then he starts laughing about the ear being ripped off?
He's so nonchalant. He's just like, oh, okay. So I can't even remember what he said, but we're just like.
He's like, oh yeah, we thought it was just an accident when he got run over, but then we noticed his ear like half a mile in the forest, and then he started laughing.
And it's funny because there's dialogue like that throughout the whole movie where it's just like, no one would say that. Like, the aunt said what did she say? I can't remember. But she said something like right when her and Katie ended up getting together. It was just like,
these are toys, they're collectibles, something like
that. Yeah, and I knew that would come back around sometime during the fucking part of the movie.
Yeah, but this sudden conversation leads into actually, I think, an interesting question.
Yes.
Do the characters act in rational or irrational ways in both of these movies? Also, like, does their rationality or irrationality like really fit these movies, right? Because they're both pretty silly movies. So, if you have someone act irrational in a silly movie, it could fit. But what do you think?
So I think I may hand this off to you because I kind of am trying to remember. I think I'm trying to think. Oh, what the fuck? Yeah, hold on. Madison / Emily in Malignant is I can't with her husband at the beginning.
Oh my god, that guy.
That was terrible. That was literally an AI bot. M3GAN, typed in stereotypical shitty husband. And gave him,
Husband.
Yeah, sure. But just like the dumbest shit. Just like was on his phone. She turns off the. Hey, I was watching that. We both laughed.
Give me a cold beer.
I'm just like, and then he hits her and pushes her into the wall, and he's like, "Oh my god, I'm sorry." I'm like,
yeah.
Are you fucking kidding? It. Yeah. It's not funny, but it's like the character. It's like, how many movies are we gonna have with this shitty fucking husband? But anyways, so Madison, at the very beginning of the movie, we don't realize what is, that she has this twin on her back. Mm-hmm. So her head's just bleeding and she's just laying around. She's not going to the hospital. It's still bleeding.
Yeah, dogging the pillow when she sleeps. Blood's getting all over the pillow. Like, use a towel. If you're not going to the hospital, at least put a towel on your pillow.
That's what you said. You're like, use a towel. I'm like, or you could just go to the hospital.
Well, if you're not going to go to the hospital, at least do it.
And then she goes crazy. She starts to like lose her mind, which we understand why. It makes sense. Mm-hmm. But so and then her sister's like, hey, I'll stay with you. Like, I'll stay, you don't have to stay by yourself. She's like, I've had everything else taken away from me. I'm not going to have my home taken away from me. And like, wants to stay in the house that all this shit's happened by herself. That is irrational to me. That makes no sense. No one would do that.
I just thought of something. Maybe she said that because, remember, Gabriel's lair is in the attic of that house. So maybe Gabriel was subconsciously making her stay there.
She was kind of acting weird.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so that could make sense.
Yeah. Oh, it's a good movie now.
Yeah. But so that was that and that in Malignant, but Malignant M3GAN
Mint.
in M3GAN Everyone honestly was pretty rational for what the circumstances were. And it was all, honestly, I'll give that to the movie. It was all kind of believable in the sense of the little girl wanting to be distracted, so she clings to M3GAN super hard, and then she acts like a little bitch when it gets taken away because that's how kids are. And the aunt also not really knowing what to do with Katie. She's like, well, shit, like, I don't know how to raise a kid. Like, you know, it all is very, I will say that the more dramatic and annoying part was the boss David.
Oh my god, that guy.
So funny. I did like it. It was good, but it was just like, okay, we get it. Yeah. You're the stereotypical crazy boss. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was just there because he's like, I want M3GAN and I want her now. I don't care if you don't properly test her.
So what do you think? What are did everyone act rational or irrational, or what do you think?
In Malignant, everybody was just utterly irrational, and it was hilarious, and it 100% added to the film with how odd people acted. Like, I just can't get over the part when Madison slash Emily tells her sister, fake Florence Pugh,
forgot about her,
Sydney. Literally, they just could not afford Florence Pugh, so they just found whoever this is. Same with Shaw's partner. Literally, just Wanda Sykes, but not Wanda Sykes.
That is so funny when you said that. It's so true.
But anyways, so yeah, when Madison tells Sydney that she's adopted, it's just the way that Sydney actually like, and then the camera just pans it on her, and then they got the epic orchestral "Where Is My Mind." It's just so good.
Oh my god, I forgot about that. Through the whole fucking movie. What an amazing song, but to use it so literally and so like ironically and like just it's a joke. That's what makes it funny. It's like, you know, like I could see that being like in like a Matrix movie. That would be cool. But then you have it during this fucking movie where she's got a damn parasitic twin in her head. It's like, what?
It's so good.
It's
that perfect
funny
balance of cheesiness and campiness and
yes, I think so too.
Smartness. Like, you know, with something like this that hits this level of absurdity and cheesiness, campiness and all that, it takes intelligence to do something this stupid, if that makes sense.
Yes, and I'm not insulting anyone's intelligence. I'm just saying, with M3GAN, it was just sheer stupid. You know, like... Yeah,
I agree. M3GAN is definitely
funny.
Not as good as Malignant.
Yes.
It doesn't reach nearly as high highs. It's much more of just a smaller, silly... movie, but I still like it personally. I agree. There's definitely it's not that good, but I just like it.
There was just so much hype around it, and I was excited, and they did all this thing for this dumbass movie. I'm just like, why? It's just, I don't know. Disappointing. Okay. Anyways, sorry.
That's life sometimes.
That's life. Do you think that these movies are supposed to be funny? And does the humor and campiness justify itself? Or does the tone detract from the horror? In your opinion?
Well, both of these movies are undoubtedly supposed to be funny. Mm-hmm. Maybe I find them a bit funnier than they're supposed to be, at least Malignant.
Yes.
M3GAN, I think everything that's funny in that movie is supposed to be, even stuff that seems unintentional. Mm-hmm. If that makes sense, but Malignant is entirely, utterly trying to be funny. Everything that you think is funny in that movie is 100% intentional. Like that part where fake Florence Pugh drives up to the Arkham City ass-looking children's hospital, God, and she like parks on the edge of a cliff.
Yeah.
And there's just like a bunch of area, and she chooses the very edge of the cliff, and it's just like a rocky tempest storm ocean, and she just goes in
it's so cliff. Unbelievable. It's like, what is that movie with I wanted to say Jack Dawson, and because that's the Titanic. What's the movie? Shutter Island. Is this Shutter Island?
I don't know, I've never seen Shutter Island.
Okay, well, anyways, but yeah,
so,
it's just like so unbelievable. Like this big castle asylum on this big cliff. It's like y'all live in Seattle.
I know.
Where is this? It just doesn't make sense. It's very random.
It's just utter campiness. Everything's intentionally funny and Malignant, and so it does justify itself. All the campiness, all the humor in Malignant justifies itself, because imagine trying to take the thing that Malignant does seriously, right?
Exactly.
It's silly because it is silly. It's
not. And it's okay that it's silly. It's like it's because, in my opinion, it has, like we just said, it has some horror and it has some humor. It's like the balance is great. I like it.
Yeah,
it gets away with it.
It doesn't really detract from the horror tone, because to me, I'm of the belief, at least some people here don't think so, think that that horror is allowed to be funny and is actually encouraged in some parts.
But I don't. Like, it just depends on the movie. It depends on the movie. Yeah. And if it's executed well.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, Cabin in the Woods, masterpiece. And it's funny and it's scary.
Mm-hmm.
I've never felt that way before about a movie. I feel like that was like the first movie I saw that's both funny and scary, and I've been like, that was fucking amazing, and I loved it so much. So movies like that, you have to be of that caliber. You can't.
You gotta earn it.
Yes, you have to earn it. You have to earn to be funny if you're gonna try to be scary, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, yeah, Malignant, to me, Malignant isn't very scary. I think it has well conceived horror sequences.
Mm-hmm.
But just maybe on the first watch I found it a bit creepy, but just knowing, second watch and so on, just knowing what it is that is doing these things,
right,
just makes it funny, because I'm just imagining, for a lot of the movie, the movie's hiding the creature. But knowing what it is just makes it even funnier.
Yeah, it's different on the second watch. I agree, but I think it. I thought it was scary. I did. It's creepy. It's scary. It's suspenseful. It's like a movie, like a funny horror movie, but with James Wan's like mark on it. That's why it's good.
Yeah,
because he did it, in my opinion.
Very well crafted.
Yes, very well crafted and shot. I really appreciate him doing that movie. Because if it was someone else, I don't know if I'd like it as much. Depends.
Yeah, not to be mean to Gerard Johnstone, but I looked him up and he hasn't made very much other things.
Maybe that's why they hyped up the movie so much, because, he's like not a well-known director.
Well, I don't think his name was virtually not brought up at all in the marketing. All that was brought up is James, produced by James Wan, written by the person that did Malignant.
Exactly. I think that's what drew people in, because you thought it was going to be a horror movie and it freaking wasn't.
Well, not me. I saw James Wan in Malignant. I'm like, okay, funny. That's at least what
I didn't think that way until I talked to you about it. So I was like, oh, James Wan makes scary movies. This will be scary. So... Yeah. But then once I saw the dance scene on the commercial, I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. That's so interesting to me, because that is the scene that sold me on the movie, the dancing scene.
That's the scene that ruins it for me. I'm just like... Am I on TikTok? It was just, it killed it. I don't know. I don't know why I'm like that.
It birthed it. For you, it killed it. For me, it birthed it.
Yeah.
What can I say?
But there was nothing in the movie that made it for me. Except for the one scene. What was it? What was the scene that was, like, actually good? Was it with the Katie and Allison about, like, the parents dying? Something like, when they came together. That's what I liked about the movie.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm not certain which scene you're talking about.
I think it was like they had like a heart-to-heart or some shit.
Oh, was it like when all the investors were watching and the girl was crying and M3GAN was like, don't be sad, blah, 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 be happy.
I mean, no, this was a heart-to-heart between the aunt and the
Oh.
yeah.
Oh,
So it was
yeah,
like
yeah.
some human connection. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that's good. Everything else, I was like, all right.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. So M3GAN and Malignant. They. I just make up new names for movies all the time, I guess. They have similar tones, right? They're say a lot of the same creatives, and they strike similar tones to, they each have different degrees of success. But this kind of seems to be like a new trend. Like, there's been campy horror movies in the past. I would say 70s and 80s. There was some campy horror movies, and maybe early 2000s. But it feels like now it's kind of starting back up again, right? You've got M3GAN, you've got Malignant, Happy Death Day, which you have stated. I've not seen it, but I get the vibe. Yeah, it's not taking itself very seriously. It's kind of funny. It's like Groundhog Day, but murder.
Yeah, but it's still good. I actually liked it.
Yeah, and for me, a more recent one that came out, I believe, last year, Barbarian, which is just, I love that movie. It's just batshit and hilarious. And good, though. It's also very well constructed. Like, there's some sequences in that movie that are very disturbing.
Yes.
And some sequences that are super similar to things that I've wrote in the past, and I'm pissed that it was created before I could create what I wanted to create. Yeah, but that's okay. I still like the movie. But yeah, it's really well made, and it's like, I believe Zach Cregger, the director of Barbarian, it's like his first movie, at least his first movie that's anything at all. I believe he made like a comedy movie in the early 2000s, and it was just nothing. But like, it's like a bold horror movie that is subversive and cheesy. It's a lot like Malignant. It's super subversive and cheesy, and just goes, both Barbarian and Malignant just have these just sudden reveals. Like, especially Barbarian. Like, we're not going to get into Barbarian too much because we might talk about it in a future episode. But when the thing happens in Barbarian, the first time that I watched Barbarian, I watched it alone, and I started it at midnight. And when the thing happens in Barbarian, and like the end of the first act, I just exploded in laughter. When that thing came out of the darkness and did what it did, I was like, whoa, okay, this is what this movie is.
Right.
Holy.
But see, and that's why I do appreciate both of them, because it has some scary elements, but it's also kind of funny. So it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's this rising trend. Like, how would you categorize like this type of horror movie? I guess, I mean, they're campy, almost B-movie-esque? Even though Malignant is more like a...
But not, though, because look how amazing... It's like they're intentionally being B-movies. They're intentionally being campy, and they know it's like, not loosely, it's so bad it's good. You get what I mean? Like, what I keep going back to is, like, Scary Movie. It's so fucking stupid. It's funny. It's good. It's like a cult classic. Like, everybody knows those movies. Right. And so M3GAN gave me kind of, not as much as that, obviously, because that's like off its shit. But I definitely think Happy Death Day was constructed well. I also think Malignant was, and Barbarian, even though I didn't care for Barbarian as much. I did like the cinematography. I thought it was good. But M3GAN is just... I don't think M3GAN fits these categories of horror, like funny, campy horror. Like these movies are good to watch with friends, hanging out, having friends over, eating popcorn, like just dicking around. But I just don't think M3GAN fits in this category of these types of movies.
Yeah.
Because it's not scary at all.
Yeah, I think certainly M3GAN could have done more, could have gone further. But hey, M3GAN 2.0, who knows? They could go all in.
Yeah. We'll see. I don't want to, but I will
I'll let you know.
We talk about it. If we talk about it, I will.
But yeah, so I mean, yeah, they're like, the best way I could describe like this kind of new trend is like, how do you say, like, not B movies, but big budget, blockbuster almost movies that are inspired by B movies, right?
Yeah.
Like they strike a B movie tone with a bigger budget, and I don't know, it's just like we said, it's a rising trend, and I hope it stays at least for a little bit. You know how horror trends go.
Right. It's like this new age modern TikTok, like Gen Z feel. Like someone and I said the other day, it feels like a bunch of TikTokers made a fucking movie.
For which one?
For M3GAN.
It would be much feels more. What's the word? If TikTokers made M3GAN not necessarily meta, but more rapid, more like headache-inducing.
I know, but it was pretty close for me. I just wasn't it. I just can't describe it. I just can't describe the way it makes me feel. It could have been so good. We were rooting for it. We were all rooting for it.
Yeah, but not it. Pennywise it. We were rooting for M3GAN it.
Those were actually good.
I want Pennywise and M3GAN to fight. That's what I want. You see,
no Chucky and her.
Wait, everybody. This is the thing. M3GAN, the movie itself, may not be that good, but it has created a new horror icon. M3GAN is a new horror icon. I don't care what you say. M3GAN is an instant icon, and I hope that this is a thing now. The M3GAN series, it's just a thing now. There's gonna be more, and I hope that they have crossover.
Yeah, I feel like they won't, but that would be cool. I just feel like it won't happen.
I hope it does.
It'd be like a Freddy versus Jason type thing.
Yeah. Chucky versus M3GAN, or Gabriel versus M3GAN. Now that
would be cool.
Would be cool.
I mean, obviously we would know who would win.
Yeah, M3GAN.
Gabriel. I guess.
Gabriel can die. M3GAN cannot die.
True. I forgot about the end of M3GAN. Oh my god, she's still alive in the freaking...
She's in the internet now.
The music thing or whatever the fuck it was, yeah.
Yeah, but she back. She gonna be back.
And I'll be waiting for her.
Are you? It sounds like you don't want to be waiting for her.
With closed arms and a closed heart. I'm just so over it. But I will watch it. I'll give it a shot.
It'll be better. I think it'll be better because I think they got feedback. You know what worked in the first one, what didn't. Like they know that people saw the movie because they thought it was going to be campier than it really was. So I think they'll probably notch up the campiness.
Yeah. Why do you like funny horror movies, Kinka?
Why do I like funny horror movies? I mean, have you seen them? There's something, because the thing is, horror and comedy are the same thing but opposite. So when you're able to have them both in the same thing and have it work, it's just, it makes it that much better, I suppose is a way to put it. When you can be terrified and like dying of laughter, there are two such heightened genres. Like when you think something is funny and you're dying of laughing, that's such a great feeling. And when you find something terrifying, it's such a horrible feeling. And they're both same levels of intensity, so when you pair them, it just makes something that's so much more memorable. Like dying of laughter in Malignant is memorable. When a movie is scary, it's memorable, maybe depends on how scary it is, and when it's funny, it's memorable, but you combine the both and it's unforgettable. I suppose is the simplest way to put it.
Right, it's like two opposite ends of the spectrum, but when they come together, it can be done really great and effective.
Yeah.
Cool.
And it just feels like there's a lot of... Well, I'm not done yet, apparently. I just decided there's more. There's a lot of comedy people that have made the shift to horror. Jordan Peele obviously is the biggest example.
Yeah.
And even Zach Cregger, the guy that directed Barbarian, he was in like a comedy group for years. And anyone else? There's definitely other people, but none that I can think of right now.
They're not that different.
No, they're constructed the same. They just achieve opposite things.
Right, comedy opposite feelings.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, that's why they're like the yin and yang, and so if you can combine the yin and yang, you get, I don't know, whatever that is.
Yeah. No, I agree. When they're both done good, they're effective.
Yep.
Nice. So, what would you rate each of these movies out of 5?
Well, Malignant to me is like a 4, maybe a 4.5, maybe a 5. I'm really not sure. I'm conflicted because it's such an enjoyable movie, but like, I don't know. I would say 4, 4.5.
Okay. And
what would you rate
M3GAN?
Malignant?
Oh, okay. I'm trying to like get myself out of the mind of like, this is a horror film. This is strictly a horror movie. For what it is, I'd give it a 4 out of 5.
Oh wow!
I thought it was pretty good. I definitely thought it was. I think it deserves that because of the cinematography alone. Like, that movie is very well shot.
Yeah.
It's like super crisp and like just feels. I just love the James Wan stamp on it, so it gets a 4 for me.
Yeah, I've definitely got to explore more of his movies.
Yes, we'll have to watch them.
Yeah.
You won't be disappointed, I promise. They're so good.
I hope not.
What about M3GAN for you?
With M3GAN, I don't know. It's a movie that I wouldn't rate very highly, maybe 2.5 or 3. I like it quite a bit, but it's just not that good. So I would say 3. It's a solid 3.
Okay, nice. I would rate it. I'd rate it like 2.
Okay.
It's not terrible. The actress who plays Allison, I'm sorry, her name is Allison in real life. Allison Williams, who is also in Nope.
Get Out. Not Nope.
And she Wait, what the fuck? Okay, Get Out. Yes, she was in Get Out.
Sorry, for a second it sounded like I was telling you to get out. I was like, I said get out. I'm like, wait, not Nope.
Get Out. You got the fucking movie's name wrong. So yeah, because it has Allison Williams in it, I do like that, and because there's a doll in it, you know, like that's cool. That's about it.
Yeah.
So it wasn't great. Wouldn't call home about it unless I was gonna talk shit about it.
Yeah, it's a solid, fun movie. I would likely watch it again.
Well, if you do, let me know how you feel in the second time.
Okay. Yeah, there's been lots of movies that I quite liked first time, but then the more I watch it, I'm like, maybe this is not. Maybe I shouldn't.
Yeah.
Like, call me something, whatever you want, but Everything Ever All at Once. You haven't seen that movie yet, but I've watched it maybe 2 or 3 times, and just every time rewatching it, I'm like, this is just too much. Why? Like, I start to get angry at the movie after a while. I'm like, can you just calm the fuck down? Like, this is just too much. Like, I'm trying to drink my fucking water.
Yeah, I don't even know what it's about, but it because of the runtime is so long. You've told me, isn't it bad?
Bad? What?
Or isn't it like a really long movie?
It's like 2 hours and 20 minutes, I think.
Right, so
it's pretty damn long, and gets repetitive. It does not need to be that long. You can cut it by like 10-15 minutes, and it would be probably more impactful.
Right.
But it's still good, and it's already, the Oscars haven't happened yet, but like almost every other award show has happened, and it's won Best Picture at like every award show. So it's likely going to win Best Picture. So I would say watch it before the Oscars, just so you can be like, haha, I saw this movie before I won Best Picture, and I'm better than everybody.
Yeah, because I would think that way. So, yep, you're right.
I think it's on Amazon Prime.
Oh, is it free?
Yes, that's why I say Prime.
Right.
When I say I wouldn't say that something is on Prime if it's like you got to pay for it to rent it. I mean that it's on Prime.
Well, I've bought movies or paid for movies on Amazon Prime.
I've only had to if I've absolutely had to. I really don't like spending money.
We know that.
We know. Everyone here knows that. But, yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So.
that was Malignant and M3GAN, and we're still deciding what to do for our next episode. We are hoping to do an episode with a guest. If anybody wants to be a guest, come contact us. No, that's not how it works.
No, because this won't even be out until the third one.
We're hoping for one of our friends, but scheduling and all that. So we're either gonna have a guest or we're not. So I guess now we should get into thanking the patrons.
Yes.
So we have. First of all, why don't we discuss our Patreon a little bit? We have 3 tiers on our Patreon. We have a $1 tier, a $4 tier, and an $8 tier. And every tier includes access to a 2 Movies 1 Pod Discord server, where you'll get the inside scoop. You'll hear about all the
You'll probably find out before. The other day I posted, hey, make sure you guys watch Malignant and M3GAN, because we're about to post, a new episode, so if you want to watch it beforehand, that would be great.
You'll know as soon as we know what movies are going to be on an upcoming episode, but with the $4 tier onwards, you get access to episodes as we make them, so likely 3 days to a week before an episode comes out, you'll have access to it, both the audio and the video versions. And that's cool, isn't it? We love getting things early.
Exactly. You don't have to wait.
Yeah, and on top of that, tier $4 tier onwards, you get your name. We will say your name in the episode, such as what we're about to do.
Yes.
But of course, any tier is appreciated. Honestly, I don't know about you, Emily, but I'm honestly, sorry, M, and that's what we call ourselves here. I don't know about you, M, but I'm personally surprised that anyone has even subbed to our Patreon at all.
For real, I'm so grateful that our OGs did sign up for us, because that's money for us. For us spending our time doing this, we're getting paid for it, and that's really cool, because this is like our passion project. We both love movies and we like doing this, but to make money from it for our time is that much better. So that's great. Yeah, we're very thankful.
Yes, we are. And the Patreon money, it will go a long way. Well, it is going a long way.
Yeah.
Because, when we have to rent movies to watch them or get a certain streaming service to watch a movie, it really helps alleviate those costs. So we can just we can worry less about having to rent a movie, stuff like that. We can just do what we need to do to provide you guys with this. But yes, so now we will thank the $4 and onward patrons. So we have Lucy Tunes and Voldemorty off top. Thank you guys. We have Panda Bear. Thank you, Panda Bear. We have a man that goes by many different names. So I'm gonna list a few of them. He goes by Dizzy Dwarf, he goes by Legendary Gaming, he goes by Never Touch Water. Probably some others, but thank you to him. And we have, last but not least, Sam
Our
here.
first patron.
Our first
Sam
patron,
here.
Sam here. Thank all you guys for supporting us. And
thank you.
if anyone is interested in supporting us, it is patreon.com/2movies1pod, and you'll see everything you need to see.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for watching and listening, and we will see you guys on the next episode.
Yes. You will. We will. We'll all be together discussing 2 movies and maybe a guest.
Yes.
Later.